All right, now let's bring him out here. You all know our first guest from his award-winning series, It's Garry Shandling Show. He's getting rave reviews now for not only his show, but for his performance on that show. It's really terrific. And his concept, the latest project on HBO, The Larry Sanders Show, which is a behind-the-scenes look at these talk shows and all the characters you love on television and what they're really like behind the camera.
The truth about Regis film.
Yes, it's fascinating, and here's Garry Shandling.
So this is the first, see, right off the bat, there's an artificial moment on a talk show. I already said hi to Kathy and Regis backstage. Now I have to come on and everyone goes, hey, how are you? Good to see you.
I know, I know.
Enough is enough.
Usually we don't see our guests before the show, but you happen to be in the makeup chair.
And you
were hanging out.
Yeah, but I wasn't, you made some innuendo that I was hanging out when she walked in.
Oh.
Something as innocuous as that.
We had nothing to talk about this morning, you know.
First, it's totally untrue. What really happened was, I walked in, you were making love to her. I said, oh my, I'll come back another time. Suddenly the story becomes...
No, wait a minute. Now, let me tell you how these things start.
Well,
I never would have even mentioned that we saw you back there, but you said something to me.
Just to be goony.
Yeah, just.
See, I think you were back there trying to glean, trying to learn from the king.
I was there.
You know,
Did you learn anything?
I learned what really happened, what really happened, what really happened. Have I mentioned this is what really happened? Is that I was sitting in the makeup chair like this, and the mirror's here, and talking to your makeup artist.
Yes.
And you walked in.
Yeah.
And circled me a few times and said how much you enjoyed the new show.
Yes.
And I kept sitting in the makeup chair,
yes,
not knowing that I was supposed to have gotten up.
You see, that's an awkward moment, and I frankly, now this could show up on his show. You got to be very careful around here, because it looks like the maniacal host has to get in there and get made up before the show. In truth, I do have to get in there. I come down around 7 minutes to 9 to get my few minutes of makeup. I don't know why they put a guest in there, because all they've got to do is say, can you get up and let Regis get made up? That immediately alienates the guest from me.
He's hot.
Of course he's hot. You can't tell by this sphinx-like face, but he's steaming right now.
This is normally the kind of explosion you see backstage.
Well, that's right. We do our exploding on stage.
You have the courage to do it right here.
We do it right here.
No, but I felt silly because, of course, I should have gotten right out of the chair, and I apologize. But, you know, I guess I'd woken up, and frankly, and I meant this, I thought you had makeup on when you came in. You looked good.
That's very nice. Now, you see, here's an example.
But you really should get into wardrobe.
All right, so where do you get your material from? All the years you guest hosted on Johnny's show?
I was on the Tonight Show once, and I was sitting on the couch, and Johnny was interviewing Shelley Winters. And you know, when you're a guest and you move down the couch, you still have to really listen intently to Johnny, because at any point Johnny will turn off that guest and go, what do you think, Garry? So, you know, I'm really concentrating, and Larry Hagman, who was the first guest, is sitting on this side. And this is the kind of stuff you don't see on the screen. This was off camera, but the interview was going on with Shelley Winters, and I'm really trying to concentrate because it's Shelley Winters.
Sure.
So, and it's not an easy conversation to listen to. I'm concentrating real hard. You know, because she's talking about Marilyn Monroe and what it was like being her roommate, you know, and it's just too much.
Even for you.
Even for me. I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, and
of course.
Marilyn Monroe's your roommate? I don't get it. Okay, so I'm listening to Johnny, and I'm listening, and I'm paying attention. Suddenly, Larry Hagman, and no one sees this, Larry Hagman leans over a little bit, and into this ear, he says to me, you like to fish? You know, and I said, pardon me? And out of the blue, he goes, you like to fish? I said, Johnny, I wanted to say, Johnny, Larry Hagman's being weird. Change the the seating plan, Johnny?
That's funny stuff.
Let me sit next to you or something.
What did you do?
I swear to God, I said, yes. You know, because it's like getting caught talking in class. I thought Johnny was going to keep me after.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, the show would end and I'd still be sitting there with Ed.
Every one of these talk shows has its own pace, its own idiosyncrasies, you know,
Yes.
its own little chemistry going there.
Its own dynamics.
That's right.
Well, there's some, you know, the other thing that used to happen on The Tonight Show, and I did The Tonight Show, you know, 100 times. I'm not one of those guys who counts, but, you know, a lot of times, no matter how many times I've been on it. When another guest would come on, and you were the guest, you know, the guest always goes to the couch. But no one knows, Ed leans over when the guest is walking in and goes, move down one.
And trying to be the traffic cop.
Yes.
Trying to help.
Well, in case you didn't know, it would.
But I was hundreds of times. Which way, Ed? This way? Just once, I'd like to bump into Ed right when that was going
It's
on.
the absurd things that are so funny.
It is. Well, you got a lot of them in the show, and again, congratulations on the show. Everybody seems to love it, and you must be very happy with
I'm
it.
happy, and we've been getting some great guests. We have
Sure
Robin
have.
Williams on this Saturday. Robin Williams does the show.
Good. Well, you had Dana Carvey on, who was a favorite around here. You know, he does me, and I've seen him do me on the show that you're doing, on the Larry Sanders Show.
Yes.
But now, in this particular clip we're about to see, have you seen this?
No.
All right, Larry
I
and
like
Dana
to be
Carvey
surprised.
talking about Dana guest hosting for Larry while he goes on vacation, and then later Dana's going to join you on your vacation. And so they're very friendly, they're very buddy-buddy, and this is the scene from the Larry Sanders Show on HBO.
Oh!
Hey, great show. That was good.
Did you watch any of it?
Not really.
I
No,
didn't think
he was
so.
on.
So listen, here's the plan. 5 nights next week, you host,
5 nights next week, I host.
and then we go to the lake.
Then we go to the lake.
What are you doing?
I'm just warming up. I'm doing your show. I got to do you.
Good thinking. Oh, by the way, Perot dropped out. Sorry. There goes
That
one of your
really
characters.
hurts. That really hurts, Larry.
When we go to the lake,
Yes?
do not bring the trades.
What?
I'm tired
What?
of you looking at the numbers for your
You
movie.
can't believe what it's doing in Malaysia. It's through the roof. It's
So
just
sad.
unbelievable. It's
So
so much,
sad.
so much money.
So
huge,
sad.
huge,
So
huge.
sad. Rub it in.
And you're going to bring your own sleeping bag, right?
Why?
The one sleeping bag thing is not, it didn't
Oh,
work.
this is the first time I've heard a complaint. Last summer it was, oh, the sounds of the woods. You want a Coke?
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we're going to show you what happens now after he guest hosts for Gary, Larry, whatever his name is. We'll be right back in a moment.
Tomorrow on Live, Beverly Hills 90210 star Luke Perry.
Oh, and that was a lot of fun with Kathy Lee. Anyway, Regis Philbin, if you want to do it, don't attempt this without adult supervision, but if you want to do Regis at home to impress your friends, this is the equation. Anyway, you ready for this? I'm out of control. So 1, 2, 3. You ready for this? I'm out of control.
It's really amazing. It's like he's born to do it.
Well, you know, come on, anyone can do a monologue. Byron Allen does a monologue. Let's see how he does with the interviews. Well, Larry is like every other talk show host who sits around and critiques the other hosts, and that's what really happens. And we don't get to see that. I mean, I know all the other guys, and I know for a fact that all the other guys sit around and watch the other hosts and go, yeah, that's what they do.
Now, what about you?
Do you do that? Do you watch other hosts and go,
Yeah,
oh,
but
brother?
frankly, I enjoy them. I
He's
think,
a great fan.
Yeah, I think all of them are pretty good.
Good.
Let me ask you something, though. You could have done your own talk show.
I'm trying to think of one you wouldn't like.
You didn't like me
One
much.
talk show host?
Yeah,
you
one
mean?
talk show host that you never liked.
Stanley Siegel.
Yeah, how about Stanley Siegel?
Stanley.
He was good. He was good, though.
He was interesting.
He did
Yeah.
it here in New York,
Yeah.
and I never saw Stanley. I mean, I heard about him, but I was in the West Coast.
I'll keep thinking as we
Okay, you
talk.
keep thinking about it. But now they tell me that you have turned down a legitimate talk show in lieu of what you're doing now.
The illegitimate one.
I never thought of it that way. Well, I'd been offered talk shows prior, in the last year prior to doing this show, which
Yeah.
is what I really wanted to do. I really didn't want to get involved in this current state of affairs with you know, all the difficulty getting guests, especially in Los Angeles. I mean, that stuff really goes on. So this is a show I wanted to do because I could work on my acting and writing.
You're a good actor too. And have you
Thanks,
noticed
I
lately
appreciate
that
that.
all the acting roles are going to stand-up comics, stand-up comedians?
Yeah, but there's not enough roles for women. So
I agree with that, and I
Larry
think the only thing
ingratiating himself.
we need more good female roles.
That's right.
you don't have a co-host on your show. Is there a reason for that?
Well, there's no female
chauvinist
co-host.
pig?
He's got an announcer. He's got.
You know.
Well, let me tell you something. Here's another.
I can see what's going on with you.
Here's another episode. Here's another episode
Lot
of the
of bitterness.
Larry Sanders Show. Kathy Lee, tired of Regis, wants out, comes to you, wants to be your sidekick. There's at least 2 hours of material there.
Well, there's certainly, you know, maybe one episode there that we could explore.
I tried, all right?
You know, there is
Thank you, Reed. He's always trying to get me
Hank the sidekick,
Yeah.
which is
That's right. And
which is a male.
Jeffrey Tambor is
Jeffrey Tambor and Rip Torn.
Rip Torn
Yeah.
plays the producer.
Yeah, not a woman around.
There are several women in that.
There's Larry's girlfriend.
There's Larry's wife.
I didn't know it was your wife.
Larry's married. I don't know why I look over there as though Larry's there. Larry's married. I keep pointing to the monitor.
Yes, all right.
Who's
Okay.
the young lady that plays your wife?
Megan Gallagher, who's terrific.
Very good. Yeah.
And my real girlfriend, Linda Doucett, plays Hank's assistant, Darlene.
She's terrific.
Why didn't
too.
she play your girlfriend?
And then there's Jeannie, Penny, and because the part of this is because this role is really perfect for her.
For her. So
It is. It's perfect for her, and
That's a
she's
good answer.
hilarious and
She's
wonderful.
terrific. She really is. She's
On the
great.
show.
Besides being a beautiful lady.
She is very pretty.
Yeah.
How long you two been boyfriend and girlfriend?
Actually, why are you reeling back like that? Because you know at any point you could get slapped.
He's very smart that way. He senses
He is.
things.
He went back like that, like you do
I'm
when you.
leaning in and he's leaning back.
Yeah, that is. You were right here, and then
Yeah.
suddenly
How was the Letterman show last night?
4 years, and the Letterman show was.
Is it true that David asked you who you were going to vote for?
David asked me who I was going to vote for because he had heard. You know, I've been in New York for a few days, and Bush was in New York.
Yeah.
A couple days ago,
Sure.
And it creates havoc in
Gridlock.
this city. And it took me 50 minutes to get from my hotel to the Village because Bush was blocking me on. And his limo was there, and the cab I was in was actually honking at him. I swear to God, and giving him the finger and going, "Come on, move it," because it doesn't matter. So I'm going, you know, I can deal with the economics, I can deal with the vice president, but don't block me. I've got a dinner reservation I'm going to miss.
All right, now we got to show this other clip. Have to show it,
this is
right?
funny.
Now, this is Dana wanting to host.
Now
He
you
hosts
see,
the show.
they're friends, and he has
Dana and
handpicked
Larry are
Dana
friends.
to pinch it for him.
Which makes great
And they've been
sense.
lifelong friends. They've worked their way up through the clubs and all of that.
That's right.
Now he pinch hits.
Now
and guess
Dana
what?
pinch hits.
Dana's kind of a hit.
Dana's kind of a hit.
Dana gets an offer from CBS or NBC or somebody.
He gets an offer the day after.
And guess who doesn't like
Guess
it?
who's a little hot?
A little hot.
Larry.
Little nervous
little
about
jealous.
it. Let's take a look at this clip now from the Larry Sanders Show.
Larry, CBS has offered Dana Carvey a talk show of his own, and it's against you.
After one night,
I saw this coming.
if you saw this coming, Artie, why didn't you say something?
If I said something every time I saw something coming, we'd never get anything done.
All right. Let's digest this a minute.
Larry, I'm sorry.
I'm still digesting. Are you? Who moved my desk? What is this?
Mr. Carvey said there was a draft in this corner.
A draft?
I wanted it right there.
And he wanted it over here.
Yes.
Do we know if he's taking this CBS offer?
I've made some calls, done some legwork, developed some leads, nothing yet.
Oh, thanks, Mannix.
Mike Connor's a good friend of mine. He'll be on next
Oh,
week.
for God's sakes. All I can, look, we have a problem here. I can't let a potential competitor host the show, can I?
All right. Good question.
Friendship goes down the toilet.
All right, so it's on HBO Saturday night at 10:30, and then Tuesday nights as well, right?
Yeah, Yes, I don't really know the schedule. It's Saturday, 10:30. Robin Williams this week, and then it's rerun during the week, and I don't know the exact.
Hey, good luck to you. Job well done.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Garry.
Tomorrow on Live, Jason Priestley from Beverly Hills 90210.